Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing for Wednesday, the 12th of July. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm Derek Clark, and I'm joined this morning by Euan Robertson. How are we getting on, Euan?
Good, thanks, Derek. My last shift before I'm off on holiday tomorrow, so looking forward to a much needed break.
Wow, off anywhere exotic?
I'm away to Canada, so it should be quite good. Never been before.
Lovely.
I'm not the biggest fan of flying, to be honest, so hopefully get the flight out of the way and then can enjoy myself.
How long will that take you to go over there?
I get 7 hours to Montreal, and I'm also flying to Calgary after 3 days, so that's an internal flight. It's not too long. But, Glasgow to London, London to Montreal to Calgary. So
Yeah,
looking
absolutely
forward
fantastic. That's that. Yeah, I've never been to Canada. I've stopped off on the way to Florida once, but never seen it properly. But yeah, hopefully you have a cracking time over there. As we all know, there is a daily sweep when we go live, and well done to Broxy. Loves the Rangers Review. He was bang on this morning. My guess is you guys will be on time today. I think we're always on time, Euan. We've got professionals in charge of the show this morning. So yeah, bang on time this morning to talk all things Rangers, and there is plenty to talk about. Firstly, bad news yesterday emerged that Leon King will miss a substantial period of time. He suffered an ankle injury in training over at the club's pre-season camp in Germany. A club statement read that Rangers FC can confirm defender Leon King suffered a contact injury to his ankle at the club's pre-season training camp in Germany on Monday, which will rule him out for a significant period of time. Leon has been looked after by the club's medical staff, and a further update will follow in due course. Everyone at the club wishes Leon a speedy recovery. Now, based on the fact that we're talking about a slight concern about the defensive options that Euan yesterday, this doesn't bode well with some huge games coming up. We'll talk about rumours, reports linking Leon Balogun with a return to Rangers shortly. But yeah, sad news for Leon. It's I think I've discussed last week, saying how it's going to be a big season for him. And we wish him a speedy recovery, but not good for the lad.
No, firstly, it's a terrible shame for Leon. I thought it was going to be a big season for him. I think last season, I don't think it was a great season for him, but I felt a bit sorry for him in terms of he was thrown into some massive, European games and stuff next to James Sands, who firstly isn't a centre back in my opinion, and secondly was nowhere near good enough to play for Rangers. So it's extremely difficult for Leon, and you wish him all the best for his recovery. But it takes you on to the point. I mean, I was talking yesterday. I thought centre back was a real issue in terms of numbers, because as it stood yesterday, you had John Souttar, Ben Davies, and Leon King as a free fit, first team centre backs. I know that Lewis Mayles obviously came back from his loan spell at Kilmarnock, but I don't think he's got a long-term future at Rangers. So, as it stands at the moment, you've only got Ben Davies and John Souttar who are fit. Souttar, who, I wrote a piece about him yesterday on the website, I think has every attribute needed to be a top level modern centre back. But I think whenever you're wanting to get a little bit excited about John, there's that kind of dark cloud, which is injuries problems, and even Ben Davies, he had injury problems towards the end of last season. And secondly, I know a lot of Rangers fans wouldn't be too upset to see him go this summer. So with Goldson out at the moment, I think there's a real issue at centre back. I thought that was the case before Leon got injured, and that's only been compounded by the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wish him all the very best in coming back. I did tweet yesterday from after that statement was put out by the football club. He says, "Gutted, not what anyone wants in pre-season, but I'll be back stronger soon. Thanks for the messages, everyone. Take care." Yeah, hopefully he's back fighting fit as soon as possible. It leads us on to rumours. I was getting messages yesterday, Euan, from a number of different sources saying that Leon Balogun will be returning to the club. And I guess with the news that Leon King is out for a considerable period of time, it would make sense, I'd imagine, that Rangers would be looking for some defensive reinforcements to come in. Now, Leon Balogun, that is, it's tweeted this morning after he was released at QPR. He says, thank you to everyone at QPR, the staff, the players, and you, the supporters. Despite everything that has happened throughout this very difficult season, I've really enjoyed my time at the club. I'm wishing you nothing but the best for the future. You ours. 35 years of age. Of course, he enjoyed a spell at Rangers prior to being released last summer. Euan, if the reports are to be believed, he'll be signing for Rangers for next season. Are you happy with this? Should he pitch up at Ibrox?
I think it's going to be a controversial one, isn't it? It's definitely going to split the fan base. I know that a lot of supporters have really warm feelings towards Leon based on what he achieved during his first spell at the club. He was obviously a very well-liked character. I think he played really well in some games. He was really important in Europe in some big games as well. Look, it's not an ideal. I think it's a short-term fix. It's certainly not ideal. I don't think Leon Balogun coming back. I think what he does do is he's coming in to provide cover, isn't he? He's come in to be a kind of cover, and I think Rangers need bodies in that department. So obviously Michael Beale and everyone in the hierarchy of the club will know about the budget at the moment, and there's loads of centre backs out there that Rangers can go and get. So obviously at the moment, the targets aren't obtainable for whatever reason that may be. And Balogun's coming in just to provide depth, because I think you have to look at it at the moment. There is only 2 senior centre backs at the club who are fit going into massive Champions League games. So that's wild. The way it's happened is crazy. What I would look at, especially, is I think it's really Leon King's injury, and even before that, it really puts an emphasis on how important it is to shift a few players out of the club in the coming weeks. I look at that attacking midfield role, and Rangers are well stocked in there. I'm looking at Glenn Kamara, Scott Wright, Antonio Cholak, and even I put a question mark over Yanis Hadji. I think it's important that Rangers strengthen its centre back, and I don't think Leon Balogun is a long-term answer. I can understand it to an extent in terms of they need cover now. I wouldn't say it's an emergency or anything like that, but I mean, it's really important they bring in bodies at centre back. I've seen a few comments which I agree with. I was surprised that he was allowed to go in the first place, but I don't think bringing him back now is the answer.
Yeah, listen, if he's going to be covered and used as emergencies, a la Rangers have brought up similar players in the latter stages of their career. I'm thinking that like Gareth McCauley was one, of course, that came up. Davy Weir, I've seen a comment suggesting he came up. He was absolutely magnificent for Rangers. I think he joined when, 37, 35, I think, when he initially came up, Davy Weir, and he was an absolute colossus. But Balogun, for me, he can't be relied upon next season. There was a comment saying he had his own injury problems to seek, and that's absolutely correct. But listen, I think it's clear that Rangers need centre-back reinforcements, and it looks like Leon Balogun will be the one that will be coming in to strengthen in that department. I think they do need some more bodies in there. We know that Jonathan Panzo has been linked heavily in recent weeks. Austin Trusty was the other one, of course, that has been linked as well. But it is an area of concern, I've got to say, heading into these huge games coming up with the Champions League qualifiers. Let's get to a few of the comments that are coming in. First of all, good to have Jim tuning in. Good afternoon from Wahin, Derry. Good to meet you at the OSA convention, Jim, last week. And likewise, James Thompson, great to meet you, pal. I'll get your shirt sent from Buriram United for you here in Thailand. Absolutely superb, James. It was great meeting you also, buddy, at the OSA convention. It was a terrific event there in Bangkok last week, and good to have your company here on the Rangers Review. Kev Armstrong says, where's Jockey Wilson today? Kev sent me a cracking photo of Jockey Wilson in his pomp yesterday, Euan, and he looks more like Stevie than Stevie does. It is absolutely incredible stuff. But he's having a well-earned day off today, Kev. He will be back next week, Stevie. But yeah, what a cracking lookalike that was. Other news to come out from Ibrox. Yesterday, of course, was new signing Cyril Dessers. Gave an interview. He was on a Zoom press conference yesterday where he discussed a number of interesting things about signing for the club. I'll read you what was said. He says, what was the main appeal of joining Rangers? He says, that goes without saying. The history is known. The stadium, fans and city are amazing. But of course, I spoke with the manager. There's a new wind in the club now, and I want to be part of that. Can you replace Alfredo Morelos? He was asked. He said, Alfredo did amazing things for Rangers and at Ibrox. It's never easy to come after a good striker, but I can't look at the past. I'm only here for the present and future, so I hope that I can do some nice things for Rangers and build a similar relationship with the fans. That will depend on our relationship and the things that I can do on the pitch, but I'm confident that can work. Last season was a big disappointment. Do you believe you have the characteristics to embrace this new challenge? He was asked. I'm at a good age. 28 is the perfect age when you're physically still at the top level and you've gained experience from the past years. It's a perfect time to play for trophies and hopefully win some trophies. The mentality of Rangers is clearly present in this team, and I want to be a part of that. I think you can bring some things, not only football-wise, but also mentality-wise in the dressing room. He was then asked that Neil Lennon revealed Celtic's previous interest. Did you know that at the time? No, I didn't know about that. I spoke a couple of times with Rangers in the past years, and the contact has also been close. So I'm happy to finally be here now. And it was possible to make the deal and arrive here. If you score goals, then you'll probably be on some clubs' radars. Just some other interesting questions he was asked. You can find this on the website, folks. Do go and check out the transcript. There's also the interview itself is on our YouTube page as well, so you can go and watch it if you prefer to do that. He was asked, what other interests did you have and what attracted you to Rangers? It's not easy to just name the clubs who are interested. I don't think they'd be happy. I had some options to stay in Italy or Belgium and the Netherlands. Rangers are massive, and I like what's happening here. The group of players here already, and the manager has a really good idea of what he wants on and off the pitch is fundamental for me. That's why I made the choice. I looked at the training ground, the stadium, how the club wants to work, which is very professional, and that's something I was looking for. Then it was a pretty easy choice, actually. Speaks very well, Euan, I thought. He's a bright lad. I got that impression listening to him, and I think it was interesting. He spoke about the manager again. I think every signing that's came into the club has spoken about how influential the manager was in bringing him to bringing them to Rangers. So I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah, I was on the call yesterday, so I think he spoke very, very well. What else I found interesting was that he talked about Rangers' interest in the past. Beale mentioned this as well last week, that he's chatted to him for a while, and obviously he couldn't say too much about how strong that interest was and how far it went, but Rangers have definitely tracked him since he was in the Eredivisie with Feyenoord, so he's a player that the Beale's had an eye on for a while, and he's obviously brought him to the club. He's backed him. I thought he spoke really, really well. I think all the players have spoke incredibly well. Just on that, there's a Sam Lammers and video interview dropping today on the website and on our YouTube channel at 12. So if you click on YouTube channel at 12, we'll be able to watch that straight away. But going back to Dessers, yeah, it's clear that he wanted to come to Rangers. I know those reports in Italy maybe a few weeks ago it was suggesting otherwise, but you can tell that Rangers is the place he wanted to be. Beale was very influential in bringing him to the club, and I think he thinks he can really kick on now. He talked about being in the kind of prime years of his career at 28. It's the kind of perfect age where he's still at his best level physically, but he's also got that experience to come in and do well. I think he'll be the main striker next season. I think all signs are positive on Dessers.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope he does hit the ground running. Rangers have spent a bit of money on him, bringing him in. He talks very well, talks a good game. Let's hope he can play a good game as well. So, yeah, that's Cyril Dessers' interview. Do go and check it out, folks. Like lots of comments coming in. Let's get to a few of them. First, Neil McLean says, Big Ammo looked fit in Bangkok. Maybe that was because he was next to our Derek Howe. That's a yellow card offence. Still not having that. But yeah, Big Ammo was in great form. It was absolutely fantastic hearing some of his stories about his time at Rangers. Just going back to Balogun, lots of comments coming in with regards to that. Comment here from Dean Milne. He says, can't imagine Balogun will require a big wage, but would rather look to the future. Great guy. He loved the club. And Broxy says, well, Balogun is not a long-term solution. I think he's good to have someone who knows the club. It should be a known quantity. Having so many new players to gel, I think this should be a wise idea. That's something we touched on briefly yesterday, Euan, about there are a number of players coming in. We are hoping that they will gel as soon as possible, but it's always a risk, isn't it? I mean, it is a big upheaval at Ibrox this summer. A lot of players coming in. There will be players moving out. I don't know. There's a comment came in saying they're not moving out quickly enough for them. But it's important that they gel quickly because Rangers, as we mentioned, have got some big games coming up. But that is going to be a big task for Michael Beale and the coaching staff and the players, of course, as well, to develop that team spirit as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there is still quite a bit of experience in the build. I know people like McGregor and Arfield left in the summer, but you've got the likes of, Tavernier, Goldson, even people like Barisic, Ryan Jack, who've been at the club a long time. People like Lundstrom are experienced as well. And even some of the players that are coming in, like Jack Butland's a very experienced player. Kieran Dowell's, relatively experienced. He's played a lot of games down in England. So there is still good experience there. The Balogun, look, Michael Beale obviously trusts Balogun. He worked with Rangers. Yep. He took him to QPR. So he obviously knows what he's going to get. And I don't think Liam Balogun's coming in to be a starter. He's just a squad depth option, I think. And Rangers desperately need depth in that position. Just on the comment about players not moving out quickly, I mean, the tendency would be to agree with that. But ultimately, Rangers can't sell unless bids are on the table. And Rangers shouldn't sell unless those bids are at the level which Rangers deem acceptable. It shouldn't be a fire sale. Rangers should be looking to get recoup good money for those players and then reinvest that in the squad. So, I mean, it's all about waiting for clubs to come in with the right bids. There's obviously been a little bit of interest in a number of players, but obviously bids haven't come in at the level yet where Rangers think they should be selling.
Yeah. Just before I forget, folks, just a quick reminder, we have our live show on July the 28th. It's a Friday at New Edmiston House. We hope you can all join us there. There's lots of tickets have been sold. There are a few left, however, I've been told. Head over to the New Edmiston House website, and as ever, I've popped the link in the description box. If you click that, you can go and buy your tickets. It's £21.50 a ticket. That includes the booking fee as well. It'll be myself, Johnny, Stevie, and Joshua, as well as a very special guest as well, will be joining us on that Friday night. It's sure to be a cracking event. Cannot wait for that one, and I can't wait to meet you all there as well. So if you want a ticket for that event, then as I mentioned, the link is in the description box, and do go and check it out. Right, let's get to a few more comments that are coming in. First of all, we send our best wishes to Steely FM. Sorry to hear this news, buddy. He says, morning everyone. My dad died on Sunday with cancer. I'm going to miss having someone to talk to and watch games with. I'm totally heartbroken, hoping we can win some silverware this season for him. Sorry for your loss, buddy. That's absolutely dreadful. And everyone here at the Rangers Review send their condolences to yourself and your family. Very, very sorry to hear that. Just on Dessers, this James says he was a bright lad, studying to become a lawyer before being a pro footballer, which is quite something. And we're always very receptive and very welcome and appreciative of any donations that you guys wish to make to the channel. As most welcome, and David McFarlane has done just that. Thank you very much for your very kind donation, David. He says, love the show, guys, and I have my tickets for the live show. Can't wait. In your opinion, what is the absolute minimum next season for Beale? Is it all or nothing for the league? I was speaking to someone about this. I can't remember who for the life of me, Euan, but they said that the minimum would be a treble, and I sort of disagreed with the guy. For me, it's the league title is the priority for Rangers. They need to win that league title back. If we win a couple of cups, then brilliant. But for me, it's imperative that Rangers reclaim that league title, and that is the absolute minimum for me. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's the priority next season is winning the league. I mean, look, I think winning the I think every supporter out there would want to win the treble. But you've got to be kind of realistic as well. It's not, in Scotland, obviously, there's two teams that kind of compete for the league every season, and I think it's going to be the same way in the cups next season. So, Rangers have every chance to have a really successful season, but I think having to win the treble is a little bit unrealistic on Michael Beale. I think the league is the priority, and then I think Europe as well. I think supporters would want a European run. It's always an interesting question. I don't know what you think and what fans in the comment think, but would you rather win a League Cup or reach the quarterfinals in Europe? I don't know what you would say.
When you say Europe, what do you mean? Champions League?
Oh, I mean, reaching the quarterfinals of the Champions League would be unbelievable. But even Europa League, reaching the quarterfinals of the Europa League or winning a League Cup.
Give me the League Cup, please.
Yeah.
Unless we're getting to the final again, then I'm wanting trophies. I want shiny things waved aloft.
I'm not a big fan of the League Cup at all.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't rate it. I just think you have to win 4 games. Is it 4 games you have to win the trophy?
Well, let us know in the comments, folks, if you agree with Euan about the League Cup. Listen, I think causes a bit of debate amongst supporters. Some it is, of course, when you set out your priorities of the season, the league comes first, and then I'd imagine that the Scottish Cup and then the League Cup domestically would follow suit. But it does form part of the treble, of course, which Rangers have won 7 times, if I'm not mistaken. Haven't won the treble for a good number of years now. But the comments come in just regarding to the League Cup. Scott Cameron says that League Cup should be binned. Only one cup competition is enough. Would you like to see it binned then, Euan?
I'm not sure I want to see it binned, but I'm just not as a fan of it. I think any tournament that you have to only win 4 games to win it, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's a great achievement to win the League Cup. I'm not taking it away from any club that's won it recently or anything like that, but to win 4, I think you have to win 2 games to get to Hampden, then 4 games to win the League Cup. It's a bit. I think the tournament maybe needs to be a bit. It can be changed up. The format can be changed a little bit. So I think winning 4 games to win any tournament is. I'm not a fan of the format of the tournament, but I mean, yeah, it's obviously as Barry said, it's really important to win it as a trophy at the end of the day. It can set the kind of precedent for the season and stuff like that, and obviously it gives you two really good days out at Hampden if you reach the final as well. So, listen, I get that it's really important. I'm just not a fan of the tournament in general.
Interesting. Lots of comments coming in with regards to it, all differing opinions. John O'Rourke says, no chance Euan, trophy count means everything and they will overtake as if they do the same next season. Yeah, that is a concern for many, of course. I like this comment actually just on the League Cup and about sort of revolutionising it a little bit and making it a little bit more exciting. Daniel Frew says, British Cup would be good. Agree with Euan. Even as a young kid, I think I'd dreamed of a British sort of cup. And I mean, we've seen it with the Iron Brew, the Challenge Cup, I think. Is it still the Iron Brew Trophy or what was it called now? It changes its name.
Well, it was the Tunnock's Tea Cake one season.
Was it Tunnock's Tea Cakes Trophy?
But I think it's just reverted to I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, they brought in teams from
SPFL Trust Trophy. I think it is now, isn't it? I think it is.
I know someone that works there, so he won't be happy that I've not remembered that. But yeah, they brought in Welsh teams and Northern Irish teams, and they got a lot of criticism. That idea, but I think for supporters of clubs in the lower leagues, they're not going to get European trips in their lifetime supporting their club. So I mean, a wee trip to Northern Ireland or Wales is quite nice for them. The idea of a British Cup for me is a no-brainer. It'd be a brilliant idea. You can imagine the kind of the problem you're going to have with that is there'll be resistance from clubs. You look at clubs in England as well. Would they really be into it as well? A lot of clubs in England just put their youth players into the Carabao Cup and bin it off, don't they?
They do.
So would they be more for a British Cup? I think if you had a chance to go down to play even like in London, you go and play West Ham, even if you're not playing one of the big teams. What I'll say about these is I'm not saying that it's a meaningless trophy. I'm saying it's still important, but to me, the format of the tournament, I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with Dave. He says, merge the League Cup with the English League Cup, make it a Cup of Britain. There will be a reason why it's not taken place just yet. I think it may also devalue the likes of the FA Cup down south as well. But I would love to see something of that happen, even if I don't know, the teams that reach the last 8 of the Scottish League Cup and the teams that make the last 8 of the English League Cup then go into a big draw perhaps, or some sort of round robin competition, who knows. But yeah, I certainly feel that it's something that I think most supporters would love to see. Just talking about that Dean Milne says it was a Tunnock's Caramel Wafer Cup, I think it was. I remember actually Connah's Quay Nomads, Andy Firth's former club, I don't know if he's still playing for them, is not too far away from me. They were actually playing Edinburgh City a few years ago, and I went down and watched that game. I think it was a semi-final. And it was a cracking atmosphere, I've got to say. It was absolutely fantastic. And you'd imagine, you would magnify that. The interest would increase massively if it was... no disrespect to those two clubs, but big clubs in the top flight of both Scotland and England were meeting. So, yeah, it's an interesting take on it. Right, folks, I think that'll do us there. Thanks to Euan, as ever, for all his help on the morning briefing, and thanks to everyone for interacting with the show as ever. Oh, just before we go, actually, the news that broke when we came off here yesterday, Euan, of course, Rangers signing up the World Tour operator TEG. Now, I'll just give you an idea of what that entails. It's a leading international match tour organizer and global entertainment giant. The new partnership will see Rangers participate in TEG's international match tournaments in the summers of 2024 through to 2026, where Rangers do not have official FIFA or UEFA tournament duties. Schedules and locations for international tournaments are yet to be confirmed, but North America, the Middle East, and Far East Asia have been earmarked as potential destinations. The collaboration will also see the club work with TEG on several commercial ventures, including live music and entertainment. The TEG Sport Group were involved in the Sydney Super Cup, of course, which Rangers pulled out of last year. And legal action between TEG and Rangers has now ceased after the new agreement. The organisers had been seeking damages over the Sydney Super Cup saga. Now, TEG, they've organised matches for the likes of Real Madrid, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Inter, Bayern Munich as well, in locations such as Australia, Singapore, Thailand, the USA and the UK as well. James Bisgrove, the incoming CEO, says we're delighted to team up with TEG and form this innovative commercial partnership that propels our international strategy into a new dimension. The collaboration will enable the Rangers' first team to tour international markets such as North America, Far East Asia and the Middle East in the years ahead. Rangers Football Club is incredibly fortunate to have the most passionate and diverse supporter base in world football, and we're excited to bring our men's first team to key international markets with the strong support of TEG as our partner. Absolutely fantastic news. I think this for, as I'm just saying, I'm just back from Thailand last week. Lots of expats out there, likewise North America and Australia and what have you. It'll be brilliant to see Rangers heading out to these far-flung places, Euan.
Maybe a couple of chips for us as well.
Yeah.
For Johnny, we'll have to badger him for that. No, I think importantly, it kind of draws a line under this whole saga, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of rumbled on in the background, and this draws a line under it. Obviously, a compromise has been reached. There's been no need for legal action, dragging on, or court cases or anything like that. So there's been a remedy to the situation. I think it just draws a line under it in terms of the Super Cup and stuff like that. And moving forward, it looks like Rangers will be jetting off to some warmer climes during pre-season games, which is obviously really important for brand exposure, and obviously fans in those parts of the world get to see Rangers, which is something they don't get to do very often. So I think all in all, it's really good news, and I think it's another bow in the for James Bisgrove. I think he made a really good start as Rangers CEO. I was at the fan engagement night. It was really good that fans could go and put their questions to the hierarchy of the club. I think whenever James Bisgrove has done media work, he spoke really well. I think there's been some real positive changes, and I think you've also seen stuff like the work in the bar at the stadium is now underway. Edinson House in there, so there's obviously plans for a really important memorial to the Ibrox disaster. There's a Walter Smith statue as well, so I think James Bisgrove's made a really, really good start as CEO. Ultimately, he'll be judged predominantly for what happens on the pitch, but I think his work off the pitch has been really, really good. I think he's a brilliant communicator. So I'm a big fan of James Bisgrove.
Yeah, I echo that. I got the chance to speak to him at the ORSA convention at the weekend. Him and Stuart Robertson kindly gave up the time to have a chat with me, and all the attendees to the convention in Bangkok. But they'll be absolutely delighted at the prospect of Rangers flying out to that part of the world. A few comments coming in with regards to that. Dave Thornton agrees with you, Euan. Expands the club brand and possibly puts their players in the shop window a bit more too. And Alan Hall says the TEG partnership is great business. Would likely have been wanting going on tours anyway, and it saves any money in a court case as well. And Crypto Night, if they go to Australia, says got a couple of spare rooms in Brisbane, lads. Hour or so to the Sunshine Coast. That is where the ORSA convention is taking place next year at the back end of February. I may be in touch, buddy, with regards to those spare rooms. But yeah, that was the big news that broke just when we came off air yesterday. Rangers signing up with the tour company TEG. Right, folks, that'll do us there. Thanks to everyone as ever. We'll be back. Well, I think there's going to be a members video a little later on. Yourself and Joshua, I believe, Euan.
Yeah, so we're going to, for all the members, we'll be talking about the centre-back options, or certainly lack of them at the moment. Just with Leon's injury, Connor Goldstein still been out, and obviously Leon Balogun news. So we'll dig deep into the centre-backs, look at how important it is to bring people in, how many players are needed. I think maybe you need 2 centre-backs coming in. And I think anyone that was kind of advocating for Ben Davies to leave the club in the coming weeks, I think that's an absolute no-go. You simply cannot let him go at the moment. So, yeah, that me and Josh will be on later on in the afternoon. I don't know exactly when, but it should be around after midday. We'll be on there, so keep an eye on it. And, of course, in 2 hours' time, Sam Lammers' interview will be dropping on our channel. So I think it Johnny's premiered it on YouTube, so keep an eye on that at 12.
Yeah, we've got lots of members that have signed up, over 300 now of you, which is absolutely fantastic. Thanks to each and every one of you. And as I mentioned, you do get 3 to 5 extra videos per week. Great reception to my interview with Stuart Monroe last week as well. That's on the members site as well, folks. So do sign up and join us for all those extra videos you'll be able to enjoy at your leisure. Okay, folks, we'll be back again tomorrow to talk all things Rangers. I'll be back with Joshua. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye for now.